Alrighty, guys, I'm now 13-1 in my last 14 board member tier package bets on my website at patreon.com/brockpage. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal bets here today, you can do that right now by becoming a board member on my website. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Sunday, March 12th, 2023. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/brockpage. And once again, guys, I'm 13-1 in my last 14 board member tier package bets on that site. And not only do board members get access to my board member podcast every single day, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. It's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. What I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. I currently have over 540 members who are signed up and active on my site right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Nets at the Nuggets, 3:30 p.m. East. Denver's -9, totals 230.5. Now, Denver's the best shooting team in the NBA. They're shooting league high 52% from the field at home. They're also drilling nearly 41% of their three-pointers in the ball arena as well. That's also a league high. Nikola Jokic drills over 41% of his three-pointers. He also averages a triple-double. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray, he's scoring over 20 points a game himself, and he knocks down nearly 40% of his long balls as well. Now, they're facing a Nets team who lost 5 out of their last 9. They certainly do a poor job of rebounding. They're currently in the bottom 5 in defensive boards per contest. They're also grabbing fewer offensive rebounds than any other team in the league except for one. Now, injury-wise, Bum Simmons is still inactive for Brooklyn. When it comes to the total, Brooklyn's 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Denver's gone 20 and 15 to the under in the Mile High City. Give me Denver -9, under 230.5. Next game, Cavaliers, Hornets, 5 o'clock East. Cleveland's -8, totals 220. And even though the Cavs have been real good on defense. That's an interesting way to say it. Let's try it again. Even though the Cavs have been real good defensively, they've certainly had their struggles on the road. These guys are 14 and 20 in their travels, and they actually allow more three-pointers a game on the road than most clubs in the East. When it comes to offensive production, the Cavs have certainly had their issues getting to the basket. These guys are in the bottom 5 in road scoring. Now, they're facing a Charlotte team who does a nice job grabbing offensive boards themselves. They're actually snagging more offensive rebounds a game than most clubs in the East. Kelly Oubre is getting nearly 6 rebounds a game, and he also scores 20 points per contest. Meanwhile, P.J. Washington averages over 15 points a game himself. Now, injury-wise, Cody Martin and Mark Williams, they are questionable for Charlotte. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, Darius Garland's questionable, Jared Allen's doubtful. When it comes to the total, Cleveland saw unders recently against the likes of Detroit and Toronto. They've also been held to just 108 points a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Charlotte. So if you were into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Hornets on the other side, they've gone 9-1 to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me Charlotte +8, under 220. Next matchup, Wizards, Sixers, 6 o'clock East. Philadelphia's -7.5, totals 227 and a hook. And as good as Philly's been, well, they haven't been great at covering the point spread. They failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. And they're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the league. Matter of fact, Philly's in the bottom 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounds per contest. They're facing a Washington team who plays some really tough defense on the road. They're actually in the top 5 in defensive field goal percentage while traveling. They're also giving up fewer points a game on the road than most clubs in the East. Bradley Beal's second on the team in steals per contest and also leads the club in scoring. Meanwhile, Kristaps Porzingis, he's drilling nearly 40% of his three-pointers and also averages 23 points a game. Now, total-wise, Washington 60% to the under in their travels. Meanwhile, Philadelphia saw unders against the likes of Minnesota, Miami, and Boston. Give me the Wizards plus 7.5, under 227 and a hook. Next game, Thunder, Spurs, 7 o'clock East. Oklahoma City's -3, totals 237.5. OKC got the W in 4 out of their last 5. And they're currently, they're almost the best scoring team in the league. They're averaging more points per contest than any other team in the NBA except for one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leads the squad with over 31 points a night, along with 5 assists. Meanwhile, Josh Giddey's also second on the team in points. He also averages nearly 8 rebounds a game. Now they're facing a Spurs team who has the second fewest wins in the Western Conference. And no real surprise here, guys. San Antonio is allowing more points per game than any other team in the league. Now, injury-wise, Johnson and Sochan are questionable. Birch is out. When it comes to the total, San Antonio saw overs in their last 3 straight. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Oklahoma City -3, over 237.5. Next game, Blazers, Pelicans, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Portland is now -1.5, totals 231. That line did flip. New Orleans was actually favored by 1 earlier this morning. It was as high as 1.5 for New Orleans. Now it is Portland -1.5 because that line flipped. And even though the Pels haven't been great here recently, they still are playing some really good basketball at home. They're 21-12 in the Smoothie King Center, and they're actually in the top 3 in the NBA in home defensive boards. Jonas Valanciunas, he's making nearly double-digit rebounds per game, and he's making 54% of his field goal attempts. While C.J. McCollum scoring over 21 points per contest. Now they're facing a Portland team who lost 7 out of their last 10. They played their worst basketball on the road. The Blazers are just 14-21 while traveling, and they're in the bottom 5 in road points. Now, injury-wise, Lillard and Arcidiacono, they're both questionable. Winslow and Badji are out. Meanwhile, for the Pels, Brandon Ingram's battling an ankle. Keep an eye on him. When it comes to the total, New Orleans saw their last 6 straight stay under the number. 9-1 to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Portland went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. They're also 22-13 to the under in all of their road games. Give me the Pels plus 1.5, under 231. Next and final matchup for the video, it is going to be Knicks at the Lakers, 9 o'clock East. The LA Lakers are -3, totals 225.5. And even though the Lakers are favored by a bucket here, they're having a tough time on defense. They're allowing more points per contest than most clubs in the Western Conference. They're also grabbing fewer defensive boards a game at home than any other team in the league except for one. They're taking on a Knicks team who's in the top 3 in road offensive boards. Julius Randle averages double-digit rebounds a game, and he also leads the team in points. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett averages over 19.5 points per contest. When it comes to defensive play, New York has the lowest defensive field goal percentage on the road in the game. Now, injury-wise, Jalen Brunson is battling a foot injury. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, LeBron and Mo Bamba are still out. AD is questionable. When it comes to the total, the Lakers did see overs against the likes of the Raptors, Thunder, and Portland. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with New York get over the total as well. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Now, New York on the other side, they saw overs against the likes of Boston, Miami, and Brooklyn here recently. Give me the Knicks +3, over 225.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Denver Nuggets -9, under 230.5. Charlotte Hornets +8, under 220. I'm now 13-1 in my last 14 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal sports bets here today, the only way to do that is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package. The link for my website is in my bio. Give me Washington plus 7.5, under 227 and a hook. Oklahoma City Thunder -3, over 237.5. New Orleans Pelicans plus 1.5, under 231. And with my next and final free pick, give me the New York Knicks plus 3, over 225.5.